Last year, I went to Bruges to the European conference, and I went for the first time ever. I went on the Eurostar purely because, well, I was looking at flights to get to over there. Eurostar was just a better option. I could get into Brussels and then get on the train to Bruges, no problem. Job done. It was that easy. And I never got to experience pre-Brexit Eurostar. I never got that experience. But from what I have certainly read online about the changes that have been made to Eurostar since Brexit, it would used to be so easy because it was literally like getting on a train in London and then getting off in Manchester. It was that easy. You just showed your ticket, showed your passport, and you were away. In fact, I don't even think you needed to show your passport. I think you just needed to show your ticket. So, but I did though, and I always did. I did travel through a lot of London St Pancras because, like I say, the train from Sheffield to London gets into London St Pancras, and of course, again, if you come from that platform 4, where do you pass directly by on the way to the tube station? You pass the Eurostar. And I always remember it never, ever having queues or anything like that. But that just been my experience, just passing through. But ever since Brexit, I have always passed there and it has been queues out the door. And those queues, when Eurostar sort of talked about them, even again pre-Brexit leading up to that, it was because they would have to do checks. Pure and simple. We have to do checks. And because they're having to do these checks, this is having a massive impact on, first of all, London St Pancras, because they had to massively redesign the entire layout of the Eurostar area, because now they have to do and carry out all these checks that they, again, never had to carry out before. So that would have to be a big change, which again is slowing people down getting on the train. So this has now led to, as has been reported in a couple of past times, Eurostars taking off, not even with a full complement on the train, because people are seeing the problems, that the delays that these passport checks are causing. And like I say, if you've ever passed through London St Pancras, sometimes you can see the queue stretching all the way back as you're coming down those escalators. You can see the queue just stretching all the way back along the concourse. It's pretty crazy, but there was always another area that I thought it might affect, and that was, of course, Ashford International. Built, of course, as one of the big hubs of Eurostar. It would be London, then it would stop off here. Now, why has Ashford International closed? Well, Ashford International closed for the prime reason that there just was not enough room, coupled with the fact that you've got all those checks going on in London. The Eurostar would go to there and get to Ashford and then have to stop again, so it could make all those checks of the people getting on from Ashford International or getting off from Ashford International. And these checks, these passport checks that we've always said, might seem really small, might be a small, minuscule amount of time, but you've got to remember, you are having thousands of people cross through that barrier constantly. So eventually, that amount of time of checking your passport is going to add up. So Eurostar just cannot, first of all, pay the money to alter Ashford International to be able to accommodate the customs area that it would now need. It cannot afford the delays that it would mean. at Ashford before obviously it would go on into Europe, it became completely uneconomical. And of course, down in Kent, in Ashford, big population voted for Brexit. And in Kent Online today, well, last week indeed, there were big groups saying, "Oh, we missed the Eurostar. We want it to come back. It's destroying the economy of our town because lots of people came to sort of Ashford to 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 get on the Eurostar." But this was again a fact that was warned about multiple times when Brexit was brought up. This would be the problem, that these travels that you could just simply take if you just get on the train through the Eurostar and off you get. We always warned what the consequences would be. And they do actually mention the article that it is Brexit related. And of course, the pandemic as well had an effect on Eurostar as well. But while it was the pandemic that ultimately, shall we say, sealed the fate of Ashford International, it was merely just the catalyst for it closing for its real reason that was causing a lot of problems in the first place. And of course, that was with Brexit. And even Eurostar is like, well, unless something changes, there's no way that Ashford International will ever start receiving Eurostar services as well. So I find it hilarious again, of course, that people in Kent are forming this group to bring back the Eurostar. And yet most of those people, I guarantee, would have voted for Brexit. And yet that was the main concern that we always said about Brexit. Look, it's going to make travel to the continent, for especially the amount of people who get interviewed talking about how easy it was just to get to Europe. And you're like, yeah, it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. We've kissed goodbye to that ease of travel because everyone, again, according to you guys, wants to get rid of freedom of movement. And the thing is, you're not just getting rid of other people's freedom of movement, you're always voting to get rid of your own freedom of movement as well. And yet they don't seem to understand that. They seem to think that that should just be the case, that they should just be allowed to sort of retain that freedom. No, unless you are in the club, which always, you may remember the analogy we used of the, you would go to a fitness club, you'd pay the membership so you can get access to the gym, the pool, all the extra activities. But once you stop paying your membership, well then no, you don't get access to that anymore. In fact, you may have to pay more to access those areas that you did before with paying a membership. And so another great irony of people complaining about the very thing that probably many of the people who are part of this group to try and retain Eurostar probably voted for. Again, the great Brexit irony, as they say. But as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.